So this question says use a graphing calculator, which is nice because if you had to complete the squares with the decimals, you could, but it would not be like, it's not harder when they have decimals, it's just more annoying. And so when things are more annoying, we tend to think they're harder. You do all this, the steps are exactly the same, except now it's more annoying because you'd have not nice numbers. So we're going to do this on a graphing calculator. And what we can do is take out our graphing calculators and go to y equals. If you have other stuff in here, we're going to clear it out. And I'm going to type this in. So it was negative 1.5x squared. Now there's a subtract sign and a negative sign. So if you're not subtracting, you have to use the negative sign. Negative 1.5x squared plus 2.8x and minus 3.9. Obviously, it would not be a lot of fun to do completing the squares with the decimals just because it's annoying, but not because it's any harder. And then if you hit the graph button, this is what should show up. That's your parabola. Now what do we want to do? We want to, on our calculator here, can I go back to this one? There we go. We actually want to shade, and we would, because it's less than, does it make sense, shading below would be this part, and you'd have to have a dotted line. So the question is, can your calculator do that for you as well? And the answer is yes. And for those of you that are thinking you'd like to also take an applied math class, the applied math class does a lot more graphing with the graphing calculator like this. So these kind of skills are really important for that. So I'm going to go back to my graphing calculator. I'm going to show you a couple things we can do on your graphing calculator. If after typing it in, you go over to what is selected here. I've got the color blue and a line. If you have a black and white calculator, it doesn't give you a color option. But if I push enter on this, it lets me change things. Lets me change the color, which I'm fine with the color. But this one, I can have it shade above with this triangle, shade below with this triangle, draw it with a circle, draw it without a circle, draw a dotted line. I have a whole bunch of different options. I actually want to shade below, so I hit OK. And now when I graph it, it shades on the inside. Some graphing calculators also have under their apps program, number 7, an inequality program. I'm going to temporarily turn that on. Press any key. It's now turned on. And what that allows you to do is when you go to, I'm going to go back to this first and just change this to I now can change this to a less than sign, and it will actually shade it and add the dotting line. And now when I graph it, it does the shading and the dotted line on your graphing calculator. I don't know if that's necessary. You would just know from what you've done, you would know, oh, it's a less than sign, it has to be dotted, and I'm shading below. We're just using our graphing calculator to get values. Some things that are very helpful on the graphing calculator as well. So I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to go and actually I'm going to turn my inequality program off. Quit. I'm going to quit it. I'm going to go back to y equals. And I'm back to my regular graph. The shading part, I don't really need my calculator to do that because I can do that myself, not very hard. But some things that are nice on the graphing calculator is you can find the vertex really easily. Instead of having to complete the square, And everything on a graph that you want to calculate is above the trace button where it says calculate. So I'm going to hit second and calculate. And here I want to find my vertex is a maximum. So I'm going to find that maximum. And a cursor shows up and it says, which is the left side of your maximum? Does it look like my cursor's to the left side of my maximum? Yes, I can push enter. Then it says go to the right side of your maximum. Well, I'm going to have to arrow over. And I push enter. Notice it adds 2 lines here. If your maximum is between those 2 lines, when you push enter, it will find it. And our vertex happened to be at 0.933, 2.593, which was not really a lot of fun to do by hand. Question?
On my calculator, I have all the things done, but when I press graph, it just
I'm going to hit the zoom button and go back to standard Windows 6, see if that makes a difference. Or if we still get an error.
Even for dollar one, when you have the graph, the same way. You know what I mean?
let me just go to graph and graph.
Change it back to a line.
Whatever is easy to have.
Temporarily.
Sorry, man. I'll help you right now. My graphing calculator.
Oh, you have your equal sign turned off. It won't grab anything when the equal sign isn't turned on. So I just pushed enter on the equal sign, turn back on. Okay, questions for practice on this one? You can circle question number 9.